Oppenheimer is the story of the invention of the nuclear bomb. It's told through the framing device of Lewis Strauss's Senate confirmation hearing for Secretary of Commerce, wherein it comes out that as a member of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, he had manipulated a hearing for the renewal of Robert Oppenheimer's Q clearance so that it would be rejected, at least in part because years earlier, Robert Oppenheimer publicly dismissed Strauss's concerns about exporting radioisotopes. This movie is about interpersonal relationships, grudges, misunderstandings, and the petty or thoughtless ways that we punish and ruin each other. Since this movie came out, it's also become somewhat controversial for including a sex scene. I've seen a lot of opinions about it, ranging from there's no artistic merit in the sex scene to I'm young and uncomfortable with sex, to sometimes in art, artists make artistic choices, to why does it matter that Robert J. Oppenheimer had sex, to it's not even a good sex scene. In a debate about whether this scene has artistic merit, I think it does. Specifically, it's a good example of show don't telling a relationship between two characters. While the framing device revolves around Robert Oppenheimer's relationship with Strauss, there's also a constant tension relating to Robert Oppenheimer's relationship to the Communist Party. He's not a member of the party, but his brother is. He attends their meetings. He tries to unionize the university. He donates money through the Communist Party, and he has an on-again, off-again girlfriend who's a party member. The thing that makes this movie good is that these relationships are thoroughly explored on screen. We see Robert Oppenheimer turn to his brother in a time of need, and yes, we see him have a one-night stand. During the hearing to renew Robert Oppenheimer's Q clearance, all of these ties come back to make things more complicated for him. The fact that this is all established within the movie makes it narratively satisfying for the audience to watch. It doesn't matter how exactly these ties are established, but it does matter that they're established. Without these connections, we'd have a worse movie. How do I know? The Imitation Game is a 2014 movie about how Alan Turing cracked Enigma. It's told through the framing device of Turing's arrest on the criminal charge of homosexuality as he tells his story to the investigator, hoping that his service will sway the investigator's opinion of him. However, whereas Robert Oppenheimer's ties to the Communist Party are well established and the audience understands what's going on, Turing's homosexuality is never explored on screen. He says he's a homosexual, and a couple of the characters say they suspected, but this tell-don't-show storytelling leaves you thinking, wait, what? Why would they suspect that? What did they see that I missed? For example, we could have had a scene where Turing flirts with someone, or even more subtly, the movie could have been edited in such a way that Turing discreetly checks a guy out. Either of these options would cue the audience as to what's going on, but we don't get that. We're told he's a homosexual, and years later he's arrested for something that happened off-screen, and the movie is worse because of it. One of the reasons Oppenheimer works as a movie is that it adheres to show don't tell and setup and payoff storytelling within character relationships and the plot. Did there have to be a sex scene? No. What there had to be were meaningful explorations of his complicated interpersonal relationships with the people in the Communist Party. It just so happens that one of Robert Oppenheimer's relationships was with this woman, and of all the ways to explore this relationship, the writers chose to include a sex scene. And it worked. It did the thing the movie needed in order to function narratively, and ultimately the movie is better because of the inclusion of this scene.